How's it going, people? Welcome to this week's edition of Fan Zone right here on Top 6 Fan TV. We have a packed house of fans right here ready to dissect the results from the traditional top 6 in the latest round of games, which have been cup games. And we'll get into it right after this. Fantastic, fantastic. If you're just joining us, you've just joined the channel, you are most welcome to Top 6 Fan TV, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew is the name. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Feel free to hit the like button. And of course, we'll be happy to receive your comment and basically put it up for everyone else to see. So you are most welcome. The show is Fan Zone, and with me in the virtual studio today is Chelsea fan Frobisha. We have a Twine who's a Man United fan. He lost his jersey after the last defeat, but we've been encouraging him to put it back on. And then, of course, Fazzy, Eli Fazzy, Arsenal fan. As you can see, he's on the road. He's on the road to Wembley for the Champions League final. He expects Arsenal to get there, and all will be well, we believe, as Arsenal fans. Although not all Arsenal fans, it's panic stations, as you know. Arsenal fan base is the panic fan base, as we've seen in the recent past. But we'll get right into the discussion from the latest round of games, and we're going to start off with the team that seems to be the most informed team. Well, I would say, would you argue Liverpool is the most informed team in Europe as well, by the way, because they're doing well. Premier League in the cup games, they beat Arsenal in the FA Cup game, third round on the weekend, and they've now dispatched Fulham just yesterday just a couple of days ago in the EFL game.
Okay.
And I mean, they're doing very, very well. I'll pull in at Winnie on this. What's your take on Liverpool? They're still in for a chance with the EFL Cup. FA Cup, of course, they're in. They're top of the table in the Premier League. And they're not in the Champions League, but they're doing very well in the Europa League. Does it look like Jurgen Klopp is set for a clean sweep of 4 trophies this season?
I think, thank you very much, Matthew, for having me today. It's been a while since I was on this show, but it's always good to be back. Starting off with Liverpool, I think Liverpool has established itself as a pedigree team. Last season, they didn't really perform very well, but it has come off as a team that you can never write off. Whereas we had the elephant at the top of the table this season for the larger part of the season, the big boys have shown consistency. Liverpool has come out. Just before the show, I was chatting with Probation. We were saying, where did Liverpool come from? We didn't really see them keep it like that. Keep at the top, continue performing, and I think it's a team that you need to watch out for. Klopp has also established himself as probably, of course, he has a lot of competition from Pep, but I think we have to admit that Klopp is probably the best manager in the Premier League. Only that Pep has the best footballers, but Klopp has established himself as a very good manager. Yeah,
the best.
Yeah,
Did you mean second best?
You know, again, you have to look at the team that the manager has. Last season, when he lost Sadio Mane, he suffered a lot. They didn't really perform to the level that they were supposed to be. But to be at the top of the table right now, I think it's a plus for Liverpool, especially with their struggles. They don't have as much squad depth as you would say for Man City. So I'd give. I think Klopp is a manager that knows how to tinker with the team and get the best out of every player. That's my position.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't know. Frobisha, do you agree with that assessment by Atwine?
As for best manager, that one that one is a bit of a stretch, but um, I think for most of you who have been following me, Mike KB, even last season, I really expected Liverpool to challenge Man City for that trophy. I remember I voiced that. Even this season, I voiced it. So I was not surprised because in terms of squad depth, Liverpool has a very good balance. Actually, this season I was worried because they 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 changed the whole midfield.
Yeah.
As to what they had last season, because losing Henderson, Fabinho, Keita, all of that in one Milner in one go, and then they replaced them with Endo, um,
McAllister,
Gravenberch,
Szoboszlai,
McAllister,
Gravenberch.
Roboslai. So I think you look like that midfield, and it is deep. It is rotatable, and so I was not really worried. Even that midfield they had last season was very strong. I think the injuries that hurt them last season in the defense made them very weak. And this season, I think that's what they are really trying to manage because they still didn't bring in defensive reinforcement, but their defenders are back and they are looking like they are very stable. So in front, apart from Nunes, the rest look like they are. It's like a team effort. Of course, I think Diaz is a bit of a disappointment, but his overall contribution to that game is still okay. But I think he needs to chip in with more goals because he took up the Mane role and and uh, and Mane came with despite the work rate because I think Diaz and Mane work rate I think he has tried to match up in that area. The only thing he hasn't added to his thing is goals. So in terms of balance, I think Liverpool is balanced. It has the depth in terms of it can change the front three, it can change the midfield three, and still manage. So I expect them to be challenging on all fronts this season. It's just that maybe what I would agree with Atine, we need to give Klopp some credit for making the team gel immediately because you can see that is almost a new squad and it is gelling already and they are comfortable and they are not worried about whether they are playing a Real Madrid, sorry, Arsenal. They will put us a show and
Yeah, shots fired already.
Yeah, so that's
And
what
at this
I
point,
think.
actually, Frobisha, please, today I've put on my jersey. So I think, can you stop there, sir? We are now going to move to Fancy. Any fans?
Yes,
Please,
yes.
can you put this Chelsea fan in his place? Because we're actually going to get to Chelsea, by the way. And you're not doing too badly as well, or rather too well. But Fancy, moving on. Obviously, the point taken there, Liverpool are doing well. We wait to see how things pan out. They look like they'll weather the storm of Mo Salah going to the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Faz, you can't say the same for Arsenal. Yeah. You can't say the same for Arsenal, Fuzzy. What is going on with Arteta's boys right now? They can't seem to put the ball in the back of the net. What is going on, and what can be done to fix this?
I think Arteta has to go back to what he used to do last season. It looks like he's struggling with this season. He's struggling to put up with his first team because he keeps on altering it, especially in attack. In defense, he has been doing well because I think they're one of the teams with the least goals conceded in the league. And then when you look at Europe, they're not doing bad, but at home, I think there's this sense where a coach becomes too confident in that they start losing it at some point. Yes, he's a very good coach, but then he has to go back to the drawing board and understand his best team, because after losing some of the best players last season, like Xhaka, he lost Xhaka, but he replaced him with Kai Havertz. Anything beyond that, didn't get a striker. They're struggling getting goals. Yes, last season they used to get goals of team effort. Everyone get goals. Martinelli has over 10. Saka has over 10. Odegaard has over 10. But this season it's not happening because Jesus, who used to contribute much of that, is not starting that much, and also is not the Jesus of last season. He's a bit below par, and then Kai Havertz is a drop off from Xhaka. And then when you look at the rest of the midfield, Declan Rice, yes, he's trying to play his thing, but they're not gelling yet. In the midfield, they're not gelling. And then they're also conceding a lot. I think he has to go back to the drawing board and understand his best team, as for now.
As simple as that. Shouldn't we sack him?
No.
Should Arteta be sacked?
Not
We
yet.
cannot
Not yet.
continue.
No. He should stick around.
That is where the meme of Dear Excellency, the President, comes in, where he's saying, "Shut up, you. Shut up."
Well,
but I hope you guys are appreciating our Kai Havertz. Really, we wanted you guys to enjoy it. Kai Havertz and Mason Mount. I hope the Man U guys also appreciate him. We really help to beef up our Champions League team.
No, Chelsea. We are going to get to you, Mr. Chelsea, and very, very soon with your manufactured.
But I think Arsenal fans on trusting in Kai Havertz is a lie. That one there, even I think Jorginho would do a lot more better. But what I don't understand is why Trossard is not
on the bench.
He's not a more consistent player. My challenge would be where he would play though, because if you are starting Martinelli and Saka, so that means that Trossard is fighting for that remaining slot, and I understand on that.
So you've answered your own question. Where does he play?
Jesus and whoever else is in that place is not giving you the return.
Yeah, looks like it's a bit tight. We might have lost Frog for a bit there, but I get his point. We'll move on to what is going on the other side. We've spoken about Liverpool. We've spoken about Arsenal's fortunes. Yeah. You're good now. You're good. But we're moving on to Manchester City, who, if ever there was a Ferrari on a highway that was just picking up and had just fueled some V-power, I believe it is Man City. Because, I mean, just looking at, everyone is talking about the return of KDB. Of course, they're back to their winning ways. Phil Foden, the likes of Julian Alvarez have kept the boat steady, but you cannot underestimate a Man City with Kevin De Bruyne in the squad. For me, of course, Haaland also still injured, but we do expect he'll be back within 2 to 3 weeks. And for me, just looking at that substitution there against Huddersfield in the FA Cup, I was not only looking at KDB, I was also looking at the return of the very lively Jeremy Doku, who has also been in brilliant form. Atwini, your take on Manchester City. they're playing catch up here, but they are raring to go. What's your take?
To be honest, you can never understand Man City, and Man City is this season I haven't seen Haaland. He hasn't turned up for the team when he was playing. Most people will bring it down to the absence of KDB. Now that they have KDB, they don't have Haaland. Hopefully, very soon they will play together, and then we'll see a Man City team that is performing at 100%. Although you also have to admit that that Pep is not one to rely on individual players. They have struggled without KDB, yes, but Man City is a team, and I think probably I need to be helped out because Man City is a team I wouldn't ever write off. As I just said that Klopp was the best manager in the Premier League because he can play with what he has. But Pep is a manager that will survive, will go a whole season without a striker and still pull it off. He has done it very many times. He doesn't need strikers. He doesn't need Haaland. I mean, someone was talking about Frobisher was talking about Jesus. Jesus was never. We didn't know Jesus when he was in Man City. He was just a guy that was somewhere. And then when they lost, who was the striker they had at that time? Who?
Aguero.
Aguero. Yes, Aguero. Yes, even Aguero could be benched. So I don't think the return of KDB alone can be. Of course, he's a pivotal point, but he's not. Man City is still a big club without individual players. I mean, look at the picture you've posted on the screen. There's no KDB, there's no Haaland. It's still Man City. It's whether they have Foden, whoever would score goals. That's my take. Yeah.
So do you think I'd like to just Atwine, are they winning the Premier League? Do you see them dislodging Liverpool? Are they also still within the FA Cup? Of course, the Champions League.
Definitely. I'm giving the trophy to Man City. Man City is going to take the trophy. Liverpool has just come out. Yeah, that's a given.
Yeah.
The only team that gave us hope to challenge Man City this season was Arsenal. But Arsenal, being Arsenal, has lived up to its expectation. Honestly, that's my take. But I did not. Of course,
I'm going because I did come with a bulletproof vest because this show.
Yes. Arsenal was the best team. Let me. Last season, Arsenal was the best team. We have to give it to them. Do we agree with that, Frobisher? Arsenal was the best team last season.
There's no cup. What are you giving to them? There's no trophy.
Last season, Arsenal was the best team. They only gave away the Premier League. And they gave it to who? To Man City, because Man City was always lingering around. And the same happens this season. I don't think the fact that Man City has remained up there, despite their struggles without KDB, now without Haaland, they're still a formidable team. And I can tell you, will come back and they will win.
Yeah, of course. We hear you. The fear of Manchester City is rife within Atwine's veins, and we have a fan here, G. Gluta, also adding his comments. What is Manchester United still doing in the log? I think he's referring to the initial thumbnail where we have the top 6 fans, top 6 clubs logos in there, basically highlighting the fact that Manchester United should not be anywhere in the discussion right now because of their form. They're doing poorly. Thanks, Jig. Subscribe if you haven't.
And Chelsea. There's Chelsea as well.
No, we are getting to Chelsea because Frobisher is very stubborn today, the Chelsea fan. Fuzzy, I just pull Fuzzy in. As someone who experienced City's wrath firsthand last season as an Arsenal fan, we're driving the equivalent of a Prius against Manchester City that were steaming past us in a Lamborghini last season. Do you see them doing the same thing to Liverpool?
They can, but then this season is quite different because last season the only person they had to worry about was Arsenal. Of course, they dropped, but this season they have two guys they have to worry about. They have actually three. They have Arsenal and Liverpool, and then they also have to worry about themselves because when you look at the way they've been getting their results this season, it's been high scoring games. Either they score 3-2, 4-2, because their defense is not like last season. And if they lose Rodri, that's an assured loss. They lose points there. And then the coming of KDB, the only thing that's going to help them is maybe score more goals, but it's not going to help them defensively. I think we can all be right about that. And then when you look at the number of players they lost last season, and then the number of players they brought in this season, they still have a lot of work to do, especially in that midfield. They still lack a lot. And then when you talk about Doku is an individual player to me because when you look at the way he runs, the way he plays, it's not like Foden. Foden is more of a team player. You understand? So when you go back to the question,
different roles, my man. Different roles. Foden comes in off the center, sometimes from the right. Doku, you would argue before he got injured, was the best left winger, or most left winger.
This is one where we've seen Foden come from the middle, most just because of the absence of KDB. Otherwise, last season, previous seasons, he was coming off the left wing, just like Jack Grealish. Yeah.
But as you can see, the power of Doku is that even Jack Grealish is being benched or was being benched before he got injured. So I think we're underestimating the impact that both Doku, actually 3 players who they have suffered without for the last, you say what, 5-6 weeks? Of course, Kevin De Bruyne is the most spoken about. Doku, and we're forgetting Haaland. The day Haaland arrives, and Haaland, Jeremy Doku, Kevin De Bruyne, and let's add in Phil Foden, are running at your defense every week, we are going to be in trouble. Opposition teams are going to be in trouble.
Make more submission about Haaland. I think Haaland hasn't suffered this season just because of the absence of KDB, because he was doing it at Dortmund without KDB. The natural goal scorer, I think, is a bit hurt. He was let down. He expected big individual awards after the end of last season. I think there is that loss of morale, but he's a game scorer actually.
I think he will cause trouble. Mo Salah has just equaled him at 14 goals.
I think how can you have an off-season when he's the top scorer in the league?
Exactly. That's actually what I was going to say, because he's the danger man. And adding Kevin De Bruyne to his supply line, he's going to cause issues. But we will wait and see. Moving on to Manchester United's fortune.
Manchester has a good attack, but
Frob, you go first.
I want to emphasize what Eli has said, that I feel that Man City's defense is really suspect, and it's going to, and with time, I have a feeling that teams will figure this out. So I am riding on that to see them actually lag behind, because I think teams are solidifying a bit. Wait, then come around. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Moving on to the red half of Manchester United seem to be, I don't know whether I'd say picking up in form, because they have started mirroring Chelsea. Yeah? You win one game, you lose the next 2. You win another game, you lose the next 2.
Consistency.
So Frobisha, yes, consistency is the big challenge. Frob, I'll pull you in before I bring Atwine in. You mentioned as Chelsea fans, and we will get to Chelsea. You said your club wins when you want to win. So we are waiting for the next win, since you lost a couple of days ago, Chelsea fans. But speaking of Manchester United, great win for them in the cup. Over not the weekend, but Monday it was, away to Wigan Athletic, beating them 2-0. Is Manchester United back, or should we expect a loss in the next game?
Yeah, Manu. I told people when the season was beginning, mm, that they are going to regret selling De Gea. Mm. And
Eh,
you let De Gea
that one
go,
I agree.
you let Henderson go at the same at the same time. Really, in terms of shot stopping, etc., those guys were conceding fouls with Maguire behind there and all the other defenders that Manu was rubbish. Um, so now this guy has a better defense behind him this time round. Actually,
Yeah.
this Maguire praying the defense into injury so that he gets back into the starting 11. Mm. Um, the defense has been what Manu preferred last season, but it has been conceding both left, right, and center. So I think this is also affecting Arsenal, this whole jazz of ball playing goalkeeper. And I think at some time, also, I don't know what they were trying to force Sanchez to do, but I think also Chelsea was a bit. So this whole notion of goal, I don't. First of all, of course, I'm not a fan of it. That one I will admit. It may work.
It's modern football.
It may be interesting for some people, but I still feel like a ball playing goalkeeper should be able to clear the ball to the striker, and then we think after. But this thing of playing around with your left back or your right back, it's really hard team. Honestly, I feel like Manu has dropped so many points from those
because of that.
things because of that. Because Manu at least averages a goal a game. So ideally, that should.
But scoring has
Even
also
the
been
draws,
an issue for them. Scoring has also been an issue for them. Hoyland has scored 1 goal in the Premier League. Rashford is the shell of his former self. Anthony is always doing roundabouts on the right wing. So I don't know what is going
I,
on,
I,
man.
I think that they are the real situation. I think with the attack has been really the manager is trying to establish like trust. If you notice, one of the things that I noticed about Ten Hag last season, he had his team eh, all through, and I think even this season he had kind of picked his team mentally, and he has kept faith with it until I think now I don't know that who is pressuring him into playing the Cowboys, my nose and the other balls, but you feel like it's external pressure. Under normal circumstances, he would still want to table his same team. So he looks like when he comes up with his 11, he has that hope that it will fail. And I think that is what is happening. That he has kept faith with Anthony and Rashford, and I say they're having an off season. But I guess my biggest, I think the biggest issue now is what formation is Manu playing? Is it playing with the lone striker or is it playing with the front three? If they're playing with a lone striker and three players behind them, as it seems to be, then that formation, and as we'll come to Chelsea, I'll also mention it again, that formation no longer works in the Premier League. So you are bound to struggle. Every squad, every team that is playing with one striker can't keep up with the title challenge. We moved to 2 strikers or 3 strikers minimum up front. So naturally you will struggle. You need to have a very brilliant number 10 if you are to play with that lone striker thing. So there's not enough support coming in. And in that thing, you are saying Hojland has scored 1 goal, but it's not. So when you are a lone striker, you're not being put there to score the goal. You are being put there to bring these other people in. That's why we're able to notice how much Rashford has missed, how much Anthony is not because Hojland is doing his job, in creating the room for those guys to prosper or score, but they are not doing what? They are not bringing in that end result. So at the end of the day, he looks bad. But when you look at the stats for big chances created, you may find that it's up there.
Fantastic.
The team.
I want to pull in. Thanks, Probisha. I want to pull in some Atwine also to just give his take. But before I do, there's a comment coming in from Aubrey Agaba here, a Man United fan. It says, "Fe ama United to Agalachimo." Just speaking local language there, saying the United fans want one thing: fake Chinese Brazilian to also follow Sancho. Who's the Chinese Brazilian in Manchester United?
I think he's saying
and I
Antonio.
hope Ineos Chinese, fake Chinese Brazilian to also for okay. And I hope Ineos boss doesn't sign any more baggage in this window. Of course, looking to Manchester United getting a new breath of fresh air at the ownership level. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, jumping in with a 25% stake and taking over footballing activities for Manchester United, which also includes the transfer business. And we've already seen Jadon Sancho has moved to Borussia Dortmund on loan, ending his nightmare spell at United. Never saw eye to eye with Eric Ten Hag, and that was trouble. But they're leaving themselves a bit. No, he's not going to. I don't think so. Atwine, Manchester United, where do they go from here?
First of all, the win against Wigan was a very welcome win. Only problem is that we had so many shots on goal. We had about 30 shots on goal, and you scored only 2. And in any case, one of the goals cannot even be accredited to the play of the team. I also agree with, get a win whichever way. But I'm sorry to say this, even with the win, Manu is playing shitty football. Arsenal plays very well, and even when they lose, you can tell the team plays very well. Manu does not have a structure. It does not have a system. You know, last season we had, you could say we had a formation. You would know that so-and-so is going to pass the ball to so-and-so. You would know that if Rashford runs through the middle, he's going to create some magic. This season, with the signing of a new striker who doesn't score goals, it's painful to watch Manchester United play, especially even the whole business of playing from the back. I agree with Frobisha. When did football degenerate to this level? Where the job of the goalkeeper at best should clear the ball, give the strikers an opportunity to challenge for more goals. And so watching Manchester United play is very, very, it's very annoying. It's very disheartening. And we are being beaten by the people who left Manchester United. That's how we lost the game in Nottingham Forest. Our OBs are going elsewhere and shining. And I'm telling you this, Sancho is going to shine at Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, for Dortmund, yeah.
Yes, he's going to shine.
And Real Madrid will come calling, by the way.
Yes. What I don't understand also.
Højlund is not scoring, but he scores for Denmark every game.
I've been listening to rumors that there's a possibility of Onana, if he goes for the Africa Cup of Nations, guys might resign De Gea to come in for a short time. I wish that would happen.
Hey, that is why the guy doesn't want to go.
Yes, I really wish Onana would go away for just a small time. And we see that De Gea is still the best. We used to argue, De Gea, when De Gea was still in the Premier League, he was arguably the best goalkeeper in the league, probably even in the world.
He won the Golden Glove last season.
He won the Golden Glove. How do you release such a player? Our signing policy has also been very crappy. I don't know why we are insisting on playing Anthony on the right wing. I don't see what that guy is doing. I hardly see any crosses that he puts in. You know, is he supposed to be a natural winger? Is he supposed to be an attacker? I don't understand what he's doing. He does not create chances. He does not win balls. The balls we give him, they either go out, he dribbles them. I think Manu, it's just a very sad thing to watch.
So
And
where
I'm
do,
sad
what,
to be
what
a
do you
Manu
think
player,
needs to
a Manu fan.
we
What
commiserate
needs to
with
be
you?
done?
What needs to be done?
I
What's the
don't
way
know.
forward?
You see, that's the discussion we're supposed to have. Even for that's the discussion that was.
Well,
What's the way forward?
uh,
Because the truth of the matter
Fuzzy,
is,
let me pull Fuzzy in, Atwine, on that. Since
yeah,
you've prompted me.
yeah,
Fuzzy,
yeah.
what needs to happen for United? I mean, they
talking about
uh-huh.
talking
Go
about
ahead.
Manchester, we used to say Manchester was suffering from the top to the roots. But right now, they've got new management. There's a new owner right now. Actually, really, a sole owner, but there's a new owner right now. This is the direction they need to take. They need to be very, very technical in whatever they're doing from now until then. Because if they've changed management up top, now they have to go down to the squad level. Because we also used to say Manchester United doesn't have players with winning mentality. They tried to instill that by bringing players like Casemiro, Varane from Real Madrid that had won a lot of things. But then the only problem with that, they came without the heritage of Manchester United. Those were not players that were there. And then the other mistake they did, they integrated those same players with the players that were there already that were struggling. Like yes, Rashford had a good season last season, but before that he wasn't doing well. Martial injury prone. When you look at any other player, and then there was
they're
also
giving him a new contract. I
thank
think
you. And then
Marshall.
there's also this when you're talking about the structure of the team.
Guys,
Trino was talking about the structure of the team. Their identity is individualism. Everyone knows he's the star player. There is no direction to win. It's not like when you look at Liverpool. Right now, Liverpool attacked the box. The moment you see Liverpool with the ball, it's either they are pushing you or it's towards your goal. That's not there for Manchester. It is not. So there is no right now they don't have structure. They need to look. Actually, it needs to be a total squad wipeout because even the winners we know, Casemiro, Varane, they're edging out. You need new players. And even the players that were there, you need to also wipe them out. You need total a new squad. Just like Arteta did, just like Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea is right now, but what Chelsea did is very, very good. And they will pick up. The only thing they need is to integrate some few experienced players above 26, 27 years old, not 30 and above. And they'll be on the right route.
Well, speaking of Chelsea and experience, I think the guy right there in the middle has the combined experience for all the other three players in the photo. Mr. Silva there, the defender. And it is not looking good for Chelsea. They lost their last cup game there. I don't know. Frobisha, I'll pull you in on that one. So you're out of the EFL Cup. That looked like a very good shot for a trophy this season, considering your fortunes in the English Premier League table, where you seem to have the remember the curse of Manchester United, was it 3-4 seasons ago, where they couldn't get out of 10th place for like 6 months. That has also happened to Chelsea. They seem to love the number 10. And well, as Frobisha had earlier mentioned, Chelsea wins when they want. So, my brother, which trophy do you want? If you can't take the EFL Cup, what is going on with Chelsea?
First of all, point of correction, we are still in the EFL Cup. I don't know where
No,
you got that.
you have been knocked out. The second leg is that one is done and dusted.
At the bridge, no way. Just that I'm worried. I would rather get knocked out now than have to face Liverpool after. But anyway, that aside, a final, you never know what will happen. We may come when we are dressed nicely, like I am today, and things actually go well. Chelsea. Just before I got Chelsea, I wanted to say something about Manu. I think Manu needs to trust Garnacho and Cabo more. Is it Cabo Mino more to I think one of either Rashford or Anthony needs to sit, and then this Mino can they give him games, but there's a way they sub them quickly, and the moment that substitution happens and they remove Mino and they don't bring in Hannibal, the team just the team just sort of disintegrates. I don't know why it's happening, because it looked like as if Casemiro and who was he playing with was solid and Ericsson, but now they tried it this season. It looks like it hasn't been working. Anyway, but when those boys came in, they really gave that team some drive that has managed to keep them up there. Now coming to Chelsea, my team, I watch for fun. I cannot go with my Kapapula that we are going to win.
You started issuing disclaimers. I watch for fun.
However, it's top 4, that one I'm sure. That's what, even on the group, I always comment. If it is a top 4 team, that one, I was very excited when they gave us Aston Villa in the FA Cup. Those ones, let them come any day.
You're very right to avoid damage.
So, at least this season, we have really beaten all the top 4 teams, and sadly, Man U is not among the top 4, so it used that chance to beat us. But anyway, that aside, I think our problem, I know many people have been criticizing the striker, Nicholas Jackson. And just like we criticized Timo Werner the previous time, we need to come to appreciate that I think the problem is not the striker. Because if you watch the game against Middlesbrough, Cole Palmer took that role and he's in top scoring form. But the goal he missed, oh my goodness. And if it was Nicholas Jackson on any day,
they would have crucified him.
He would have been dying alive. But Cole Palmer, so I think the problem there is really, I think we need to move away from the problem being the striker. And I think accepting that our build-up play towards goal is still lacking something.
So where do you see Chelsea finishing this season?
I don't know where exactly that
Premier
is.
League.
Let me finish. I don't know where exactly that is, but so the build-up play is lacking something. I've never been a fan of a back 4, and one of the reasons why I'd been appreciative of Pochettino coming in, I thought he was going to bring the back 3 that he had become famous for at Southampton and Spurs, and he has the artillery for it. But for some reason, it looks like the management of Chelsea has been forcing managers to play the back 4 formation. Because I also noticed when one of the reasons why Chelsea fell up with Tuchel is they forced him also to switch from a back 3 to a back 4. Now you notice now with Chelsea, now they have forced. I do not know who's forcing it, whether it's Pochettino's decision, but he's playing with a back 4, and then he's playing Leslie Colwell in left back, and I feel that is a very, very persistent problem, and that's where Chelsea's weak link is. Anything that sees that and passes there, that is an assured goal. Even Middlesbrough.
We can loan you Zinchenko.
But,
you want.
No. By the way, you Arsenal guys have missing that boy. But anyway, we have Ian Maatsen. I think because what I see Pochettino doing, he wants Colwell to play. It's like it's in his contract, he must play. Then he also wants Silva to play. So because ideally, if Colwell is in centre back, pair him with either Disasi or Banua, and then play a proper left back on the left and a proper right back on the right. But imagine he was playing Disasi on the right and then Colwell on the left. The whole team is full of centre backs who cannot contribute anything going forward.
So
it
Frob,
was at
what
then.
you're saying, the tactics, The
Yes,
manager's tactics
yes.
are to blame.
No. The defense needs to be properly organized. If you're playing with the back four, play with people in their natural position. Then,
Yes, that falls down to the manager, not so.
partly, let me say partly. I do not want to blame Pochettino again. I feel like they are some process behind. For example, my next issue is you have Enzo, Gallagher, and Cole Palmer. When those three are available, he wants all of the three to play.
Yes.
And that is also an issue. All the three can't play. Only two of them can play. He needs to decide whether it's Gallagher to sit, and it looks like that's not going to be the case. So the debate is between Enzo and Cole Palmer, who sits. Because when they push Gallagher to the number 10 role, it looks like he's not doing it well. It's good when it's coming from him. Cole Palmer is looking good in the number 10 role. But that means that Enzo Fernandez, 100 and something million, has to sit. And that
is not going to happen.
Which is becoming a very big problem for the team.
Now, I want you to summarize it, because I see we are our time.
Oh,
we have lost time. My director is on my neck. So,
in terms of top 10, yeah, we can stretch it up to top 8.
No, not but top 10. Again, top 8. I think you see how things are bad.
Things are really bad
before
for
this was saying, he was, man, Fazzi, I think you're bad. Things are bad for Chelsea. As we were training the show.
I don't see because
Frobisha, let me sell you. Let me sell you. Frobisha was saying, and Atwine, you bear me witness. Frobisha was saying, you see, on the Premier League, we're not doing badly. We're in the top 10 as Chelsea. We're only 3 points behind the Manchester United, who are only 6 points behind Arsenal, who are still in the Champions League places and are 5 points behind Liverpool. So technically we can see. I said, now, my beloved Chelsea fans,
the man is very realistic.
Anyway, he's realistic and very hopeful. We'll leave Chelsea at that and move on to Spurs.
We win FA Cup, we win the AFL Cup. We are in Europe, so.
And we wish you well, sir. Moving on to Spurs, of course, they won their last game in the cup as well. They kicked off the round of the cups, and with a good performance right there. Spurs, Pedro Porro with the goal for them, and they're doing well. They're doing well, Spurs, and they're progressing in the cup. So I don't know where, obviously, with the excitement around, and by the way, that was against Burnley. They beat Burnley 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. With the excitement around Ange Postecoglou, the positivity he has breathed into that Spurs squad, they're just, if you look at the Premier League table, I think they're a point or so behind Arsenal, so they're still doing well in the Premier League. They're a point behind Arsenal in the Premier League with the same number of games played. Of course, they have issues with the players away on international duty. Son, the Asian Cup, then of course Bissou and Pape Matar Sarr have been integral for them. African Cup of Nations. They have Mickey van der Ven, who was solid for them in central defense, also out injured. But you get those players back in, not to mention, of course, Maddison, who was on fire for them. You get those players back in February, and Spurs, if they are still a point behind Arsenal, could be a problem. That top 4 race for the Champions League places could be interesting. Atwine, what has been your take on Spurs this season as we bring it to a close?
Thank you. Well, for me, I've never been a believer in Spurs. I've always believed that Spurs was a team that is going to always create good players and sell them, like they've done season in and season out. They had a very good manager. They gave him away. Only Chelsea is now exposing him.
Yes.
I think the Premier League, I just want to take it to look at it in a holistic way, the Premier League has been a place where Spurs has established itself as a Premier League club. They're always there, but they're not there. They're always in top 3, top 4. It's a club it's a team that has proven that it can stay in the Premier League. It won't go really solo, but also it's never at the top. For me, it is a mediocre team. It doesn't challenge for the titles. That's my humble take.
Thursday, I'll bring you in to conclude on Spurs. Do you see them challenging Arsenal for? Now it's actually the top 4. How time?
Actually, no, I don't see Spurs going for top 4, to be honest, because what's happening at Spurs is that the players had the hunger to take the shine. When you look at previous season, it was always Hurricane. Hurricane was the giant in the room. You do what I tell you to do. After all, even the club wants me to stay. All of you are under me. You put the ball where I want you to put it. But right now, everyone is at freedom. You can pass the ball wherever you want it to be. And there's a structure now. There is a formation. There's a system. You have to follow that. There's that directness. The only player that tried to match up to what Hurricane was doing was Son. But even Son got to a point where I think the last 2 seasons, he dipped in form. But right now, he's back. Yes. Yeah, because he's like, the hunger was there. Everyone had the hunger to also do something to show they had the potential. And right now, they're doing that. However, that doesn't show that they're going to compete. No, it only comes down to individual work play.
Brilliant. And thank you for that. I mean, we're going to have to leave it at that for now, ladies and gentlemen, in the virtual audience right there. I'd like to thank Frobisha, Chelsea fan, Atwine, Man United fan, and Fazi, Eli Fazi, the Arsenal fan, for joining this episode of Fan Zone right here. And thanks for the comments, Jig Luther and Aubrey. For those comments, both Man United fans. For those who haven't yet subscribed, feel free to subscribe and drop your comment as well. And we will be back very, very soon, hopefully with positive results for the teams. Thank you very much and good night.